yeah. The reason I've stopped going to Duck is because I'm when I manage at East on Wednesdays, I'm just so tired after. Like it's
Right.
one thing to like do 2 sets back to back, which is fine, but that part doesn't tire me. But like setting up the club, seating everything, making sure everyone's good, getting a bunch of answers, dealing with people that show up are like, can I get on? I'm like, no.
Right.
And also, I'm not the one that books the shows. They just tell me who's on the show, and I make the lineup.
Is Raza still at the helm?
Yeah, he owns it, but he was like in India for a while.
You
I
guys
don't.
have the studio till 1? Do you usually do an hour? Or
Yeah, hours. Fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. You guys just chit chat. It's already recording. I might be kind of in and out.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe record some behind the scenes, but
Cool.
Yeah, so we can just go.
yeah, you guys.
Awesome.
It's already recording, so.
Sweet.
Brilliant.
So I'm gonna point this just a little since you're sitting.
Okay.
Back, you can go back.
How do I sound?
You sound great because you're right up.
Oh yeah.
All right.
This is
But
good.
also be comfortable.
Oh, I'm
Heck
cut.
yeah.
I can adjust the
Brother, this is the world that I live in. Just the corporate. It feels kind of corporate but artsy.
Right.
Do you feel like corporate and artsy have like merged recently? Because everything
sure.
that's too like corporate presenting does not make people comfortable.
100%.
So you have to surround them with plants and books that you wish you would read, and but you just never are gonna read.
Yeah, this almost feels like one of those like at a Macy's or something. And you walk in, it's like we got the fake fruit bowl.
Yeah.
You got the plant that's not real.
Yeah.
And it's just like none of this is meant to actually be used.
This is an IKEA set that I will never afford. I walk in, I'm like, dude, I would love this in my house one day, and then you just keep.
And then
walking.
you flip over the price, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
$8,700.
Yeah. I can see why. And then you just eat the meatballs and you drive home, and you're like, that was an afternoon.
That was the best part of IKEA, just to go and eat.
Yeah. I didn't even know. I like IKEA a lot because I can just like literally get lost in it. But it wasn't until I was supposed to be able to start buying shit like furniture that IKEA got depressing. Because for a while, like
Yeah.
as a teenager, or like you're going with your parents, like this is a made up world. And now I'm like, oh, I'm 30 and people buy furniture now, and I'm just.
Now you're just a
don't want-
weird adult just walking around,
Right.
unless of no use to them whatsoever, unless you actually purchase something.
Yeah, I wonder what because I feel like a lot of times when I'm in IKEA, it's just a bunch of people walking around going, "Wow, I would love to get this," and then like I don't see a lot of transactions.
No.
I really
I
don't.
wonder what the profit margin for their food is in comparison to their actual
Right.
furniture.
Right.
Clearly, furniture would be way more, but I guarantee you it's pretty significant.
Yeah, I remember the last time I went there. I don't remember what the meatballs were costing, but I remember being like, "Well, that's not it's not cheap. It's not like Costco. Costco is like no matter what the economy is like, it's gonna be $1.
Oh,
for a
yeah.
hot dog, and everything is." In a world where like the only two things that haven't like raised in price are like Costco hot dogs and like Arizona iced teas.
Right. Well, they've had like the same price like pretty permanently, right?
This is gonna be dumb, but is Arizona iced teas, are they popular in Arizona?
Yeah, they are. I don't know if we took pride in it or not, but I remember feeling like, I don't know, I had this weird like, yeah, Arizona iced tea. I'd go to like LA and someone would be drinking Arizona iced tea. Like, yeah, they're drinking my tea.
Yeah. Well, it's an awesome. Yeah, it's better than like.
Or you'd see it in a movie or a TV show, and it just felt special. Like, I was like,
Well,
yeah.
the cans are timeless.
For
The
sure.
The designs of that teal blue can is like
Yeah.
awesome. There's like a peach mango one that's like yellow.
When I
orange.
was a kid, I thought it was exclusively Arizona. I didn't know that it was a brand that you could buy like everywhere. I was like, yeah, it's Arizona iced tea because I live in Arizona. And then once I traveled and I saw it on TV, I was like, oh, this is like a real brand.
It's everywhere. And
Yeah.
it's cool because it's everywhere. I also remember growing up and I thought it was healthy. I thought,
Dude,
it was
it's the horrifying reality of what we thought was healthy is insane sometimes.
yeah.
Like some of the stuff that you drink, not just like occasionally, like every single day.
Right.
You're like, oh, a Monster Energy has more sugar than a 2 liter of Mountain Dew.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I drank 2 every day working a warehouse job.
Yeah. And also, like now, it's like I'd almost like rather get the stuff that's like forward presenting, like kind of unhealthy, than like the stuff that's like bizarrely like 0 calories, like stuff like.
Sometimes that's worse.
Like in a weird way, and I don't know how to explain this because I drink both. I'm way less turned off by a normal like Coke than like a Celsius. And I love Celsius, but sometimes I'm like, I don't know what any of these words are, and you're like 10 calories. That's insane.
Yeah.
That like that very health conscious, forward facing stuff that I'm like, okay, this is cool. It's 0 calories. I'm like drinking. I'm like, how does it taste so good and it's 0 calories? And I'm like,
And then
awake.
you read the ingredients and you're like, oh, this is just like Heisenberg's
Right.
list of chemicals that he
Right.
puts inside of his batch. Like,
Right. Well,
it's like RFK's nightmare, basically.
yes, and everything takes like 5 to 10 years to study. That's the terrifying
Oh, yeah.
part. So there's like, it's not that there's no studies on it because they don't want to figure out what they're doing to us. There's no studies on it because the timeline doesn't fit the natural development of like the wear and tear on your body and the side effects.
100%. Yeah. It takes 10 years
Yeah.
sometimes. And even
Yeah.
that's not even 100%. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird too because a lot of it that was like stuff like I'm hearing now, like I've been hearing so much about like seed oils and I'm like, fuck, I think that's bad.
yeah, I've actually avoided them for like a few years now.
So
like,
what
if I'm
is it? What is a seed?
I don't know exactly. Apparently, it's just it's oil, and once it's heated up, it causes apparently really bad health issues. Outside of just hearing just people on like TikTok and Instagram Reels and like even RFK talk about it, I'm just like, and I've looked into it and I've seen like the negative impact that it supposedly has. I'm like, okay, it's not that hard to avoid. So I cook with butter and stuff and try not to. Like, if I'm buying something like while traveling doing stand up, almost every processed bag of snacks has it.
Wow.
So I'm just like, as long as I'm not consuming it all day, every day, like I probably have at certain stretches of my life,
Right.
I try to avoid it.
Right.
It's not that hard to avoid.
Yeah. I mean, like I get like meals like delivered to me and I have like specific snacks that I like beef jerky or like Greek yogurt.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
like
yeah.
edamame, stuff that's like pretty healthy.
For sure.
Because like other than, you know, like I don't know, other than like sleep with comedy, the most difficult thing for me to maintain is like my diet.
Right.
Dude, I don't know how people do comedy and like drink so much and like live like shit.
Dude, I've gone on the road with some comics and I'm just like, you're going to be dead.
Right.
Like, you're going to live to be like 60 max.
Yes.
And that's being nice about it.
Yes.
For me, like, I go off the rails sometimes because I'm like, okay, we're doing like a 3-day run. And off the rails for me is just eating like processed shit at a Circle K
Right.
because I don't
Yes.
drink or party
Yes.
like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But a lot of comics, they do that all the time. This is not
Right.
like a different, like, oh, when in Rome, we're just going to just...
Yes.
We're celebrating a good show. We got a little extra money paid here. Like, we got to eat something. They like gas station like cheeseburgers and
Yeah.
shit. And they just
Yeah, it's like what they live off of. It's
what
so
they live off
crazy.
of. Yeah.
That's the part that I've like. I don't know very much about comedy still, but I do. I think have a pretty good grasp right now on how many ways you can not just fail, but like destroy yourself through it.
I mean, the artistic aspect of, you know, pumping out new material and feeling good about yourself on stage, getting good results in real time. The audience is, you know, laughing and enjoying it. But then there's just the actual physical
Yeah.
aspect of keeping yourself in order and healthy. And, you know, physical is mental too. Like, if
Yes.
a lot of people don't see that connection, but or they don't care.
Yep.
I think it's that they don't care.
Yeah, they don't care. I remember when I hurt my back end of December and through February, I wasn't really allowed to go to the gym. And I also wasn't allowed to really do cardio because it puts a lot of stress on your back if you're running
Yes.
for long periods of time, like on cement and pavement and sidewalks. And the biggest effect for me was mental. Like I'm like now back in the gym and I'm like really working hard at it in a way
Yeah.
that's hopefully going to preserve my body. But
For sure.
man, the mental side effect of not going to the gym, I was like a bummer. I was like, like to myself. I wasn't like, I'm not like an outwardly destructive person, but I was like sad like all the time, like internally. And I was like trying to figure out like what part of my life was crumbling and really was like, oh, I'm just not going to.
Yeah, dude, I literally get anxiety almost if I don't work out for like 2 days is okay. By like day 3, I start to feel like it impacts my mental health.
Yeah. And a lot of it too is like, I'm sure you're the same way too. And it's so much better to be on this side of the spectrum. When you're like sober and you're like working at comedy, you have to make very calculated and intentioned risks with like certain bits. And you have to be able to like assess how it worked and why.
100%.
And you re-listen to your set and you go back to what you were doing in that moment and what led to that. The amount of people I see are like drunk or like fucked up and they get off stage and they go, dude, that crushed. I'm like, you did not process when this happened. And then you're stuck in that world for the rest of your act until you like, get out of it.
I almost get like mad at certain comics, but then I have empathy and I have understanding that for my first like 8 years in comedy, I wasn't like out of control, but I had my moments.
Yeah.
There was times at this open mic in Tucson where I was blackout on stage. Like literally, like I'd wake up the next day and be like, I don't remember my set at all.
Right.
And then it would just be like, did that even happen? Or being on stage and having to focus on not slurring as opposed to just giving them a good show. Yeah. But then I see comics now, and it's just like every time I see them, they're fucked up. Yeah. Some of them are really good too, though. So I'm just like, you're ruining this.
Yes, and a lot of them are very like. I think the dangerous part is, you know, it's all about having fun, which sounds so weird when we talk about like how intense it is, but it really is all about having fun. And when you're not having fun on stage or off stage, especially oddly enough off stage, it really bleeds into like your relationships. And the big part of the having fun off stage is being honest about what's happening on stage. If you're just like bombing and you're not like processing, or even worse, you're deluding yourself into thinking you're fucking crushing when you're like doing all right, you're just fucked up and drunk. Yeah. You get off stage, you go, why aren't I at Mothership, or why aren't I high? And it's like, dude, you are nowhere. You are not even close to running a 10.
The sad part too is that like most comedians that take it serious, like comedy defines them. It's their everything. And if your everything is just getting fucked up all the time and being delusional about where you're at and how well you're doing, that's a pretty hard place to be at.
Yeah, a lot of times when I'm like, when I go through like, comedy is always like the biggest thing for me, right? But when it becomes too big a slice of the pie, it's fucking depressing.
It can't be your everything.
It can't even be like, it can't, if everything is 100%, I think it can't even be like your 70%. I don't even know if that makes sense. Like, it has to be somewhere between 50 to 60%. Like, I've gone full circle with my job where I went from like resenting it to being like, this is so important, not just because it's paying the bills, but I have to disconnect. I have to talk to normal people. I have to be a normal human being, and I have to be able to just give effort in other areas and give my emotions a break.
For sure. And that's why this is not like, I'm not even saying it's good. If anything, it could be a detriment. I don't really watch a lot of comedy. Right. Like when people are like, did you see so-and-so's special? And I'm just like, no. Yeah. And I'll go like years without watching even my favorites, like who I say is the Michael Jordan of comedy, Louis C.K. Same. My favorite. I haven't seen his last special, but his whole body of work leading up to like 2014, I've watched those specials numerous times. And I'm just like, whatever's new out there, because I'm doing comedy so much and I'm so immersed in it, I need to like step away from that world entirely in order to have something to talk about. And with what time I have after doing comedy and working and doing everything, it's like, I don't care to watch a special. If I want to see comedy, I'll see it live. Yes. Where it's so much better. Yes. And I don't mean me performing. I mean me watching someone perform it.
And it's cool too, because a lot of it, like, for example, Bill Burr's another one of my favorites. I didn't watch his new special, and I haven't either. I have Hulu. I love it. And for me, it's a lot of too where I'm like, I found so I listen to Louis admittedly a lot on Apple Music, but he's like the exception. I don't really listen to. I've been like way more into like music and like watching movies,
for sure,
because it's like, it's all like art adjacent. Like one of my goals this year was to watch 50 movies and read 20 books. And it was because I wanted to start digesting like completed like works of art. Yeah. And I think a lot of times what comedians do, the big mistake they do, is they digest things that aren't beneficial to their growth as an artist. Right. I mean, you can almost tell like how much time someone spends on Twitter or Instagram based on the types of jokes that they write.
For sure,
if they're used to doing shit, like if you're writing the equivalent of like memes that you flip through and scroll by, you're like, oh, that's your shit.
100%.
Whereas like I'm trying to like digest. And
I have this. No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I have this theory, and there's exceptions out there, and I'm not talking about everyone, but what I've noticed is comedians that share a fuck ton of memes, they're usually not the most original or not the most funny. In my experience, and I know that shouldn't even necessarily matter, but it's just something that I've seen, a correlation where if it's meme, real meme, TikTok, and they share it, and all of it's pretty funny. Yeah. I don't know if that means that they lack an original approach from their own creative mind, but I've noticed it for years now. Yeah. Where I'm just like the person that shares tons of memes. It's like it's usually kind of lackluster.
Yeah, it's tons of memes. Or the comedians that have the Instagram posts with essay captions are like not doing well.
Right.
Like there's an exact correlation between how long your Instagram caption is and like how well you're doing.
Oh my God, yeah. Like, where there's just a big chunk.
Yes, especially if it happens like all the time. Like if an outlet for your processing is below a picture you're posting, Like that's not good.
100%.
That's not being vulnerable. You're just doing the right thing in the complete wrong spot. It feels like
Right.
someone praying in the middle of a highway. You're like, this is not supposed
Yeah,
to
this
be
is not the
happening
place for that.
right here in front of all these people. And also, you're doing it to you're kind of doing it to like nobody, because the people that really care about you aren't gonna
Yeah.
like, be moved by your Instagram caption, and the people that don't aren't gonna be moved by your Instagram caption.
For sure.
And the thing is, it's also what I've noticed is the people that post one of them post them like monthly.
Yeah.
And it's like, this has been one of the hardest months of my life. There's been ups and downs.
Yeah.
Like, cheers to growth, cheers to blah. And it's like different. There's so like stereotypically like just different categories of posts that just get posted in a cyclical manner. And
100%.
it's like, dude, this is so much writing that you could just be saving for like your journal or like your
100%. I feel like if you have to spill that much information out in a public forum, even if it is positive, I see people like this, and they're breaking great news. They're showing like what they're doing. I still feel like that you're hanging on.
Yeah.
There's something there. Like if you lose that, like you're on the edge.
Yes.
Where you have to spill out an emotional post that's 4 paragraphs long about something you landed and how happy you are about it. That's good. You should feel good about that. But when you have to update everyone in like a detailed fashion with paragraphs, I feel like you're kind of like teetering.
You're not doing well. And also, I feel like you lack certain aspects like internal validation and like resolve, stuff that are necessary to be the type of person that's going to give that advice. Like if you have holes in your soul and in your emotions to a point where you need that external validation from other people, and then you're going to turn around and preach, you're like out of your mind.
Yeah, 100%.
You're out of your mind.
That is crazy to think about it that way.
Like I've never, like I'm like pretty bad in the other way, where like even just commenting on a post creeps me out. Like for myself, I feel weird. I'll like and I'll like text people.
Yeah.
But anything about like commenting in a public forum, I'm not a big reply guy. There's a lot of reply guys.
100%.
But yeah.
I like a lot of posts.
100%.
Even when I see something, I'm like, you shouldn't have posted that, and I think that's kind of cringe. I'll like it.
Yeah.
And as lame as it sounds, like liking posts and them getting that little dopamine release or whatever, they see the likes. I'm like, even if I don't find the person particularly funny or entertaining and we're not good friends, I've just more lately, I'm just like it.
Dude.
They posted it there. It's the most minimal support you can give them. Just fucking like it. We're all going for the same thing anyway. Like, don't be a hater. Like,
when I'm like, if I'm like drunk or high, I am a serial story liker. I'm like, dude, fuck yeah, dude, this is, you got it. And I'm genuinely so pumped for people like, yeah. But when it's like you're talking, like sometimes people will just like really slide in your DMs on some weird shit where it's like, I know the games you're playing, dude.
Oh my God.
This is fucking weird. And also, I'm never going to hear from you ever again once this opportunity's gone.
Yeah.
So you're like the exact opposite type of person I'm trying to like associate with. And then I because I like to always like project things further. I always like when people DM me and like treat me a certain way. I'm like, how are you treating like women and like your
oh
loved
my
ones?
God, I know.
Have you ever had like friends, unfortunately, or like other comedians that like just how they're talking to you about a show? I'm like, dude, you're like the guy that's making us look bad with women.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's not cool. I'm like, fuck, dude. Men are ruining it for men. This is.
I mean, yeah. Do you see it so much? And it's like, why would you even post that? Like, I don't know. Instagram's like in an identity crisis anyway, where I'm like, I don't even know what I'm at anymore. My buddy actually broke it down to me, which was funny because I was bitching about like YouTube versus Instagram versus TikTok. Whereas like YouTube, I'm sure you've noticed this, and TikTok is a little weirder, but it's the same. It's a very binary, linear reward process where if you get on YouTube or you get on TikTok, you're watching YouTube and TikTok. Instagram, if you get on Instagram, the algorithm actually doesn't know what its users are doing. Instagram is...
It's like, are you on the posts? Are you DMing people? Are you on stories? Or are you on Reels?
Right.
And then where do you
There's
throw
like
the
different
ads?
Categories.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where do you throw the ads? It tried so hard to be everything that it's like nothing now.
Yeah.
It's just one other branch in the huge
It
umbrella.
just feels like this AI nightmare almost.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if you just look at like the algorithm, like if you just click the search category and it
Yes.
shows you everything suggested for you.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what is this? It's like
Yes.
Donald Trump dancing, comedian on stage, a hot chick in a bikini,
Yeah.
a guy playing pool, a person chopping wood, and then you go down the rabbit hole. You click it. Like now I'm watching people get hit by a car
Yeah.
dancing in fucking
Yes.
Brazil.
Yes.
Some dude got hit by a car, and then you click that person. It's like, oh, they have a whole page of people being hit by cars. Before you know it, you're watching the cartel behead people.
Yes.
And it's on Instagram.
Yes.
It's like, how
Yeah,
did
yeah.
I go from a person telling a joke to someone being killed?
Yeah. And also the weird part is, so I created like that page for like the, yeah, that's something. And I don't know what happened because I created my normal Instagram like, 2013, 12, whatever
Yeah.
it was, So I've had my normal Instagram, which is now like my comedy Instagram. But when I created the, yeah, that's something page last year, dude, still to this day, when I log on, it's just like tits. Like that's
Yeah.
it's really fucking weird because like, it's not that I don't want to see this. It's just that this is my like comedy page, right? I'm hoping to see
sure.
like sketches and like funny podcast clips so I
Yeah.
can be inspired. And no matter how many times I click not interested, when I jump back into the yeah, that's something page, it's just a street interview with a chick with huge tits. And
Dude,
she's like kind of wet,
it's
like
almo-
literally like drenched
Yeah.
for some reason. I'm like,
Dude, it's so weird, like, because in the world of stand-up, Instagram is like the standard for following and supporting and
Right.
getting people's information. So how many times have you handed someone your phone, or they can see your phone when you type in their name? And it's in the search area, so they'll see all the stuff that's suggested for you. So sometimes
Yep.
I'm like, here, put your
Yeah.
name in my phone. It's just some chick with like watermelon boobs
Yes.
or whatever is on there. I'm like, this is kind of embarrassing.
yes.
Like,
like recently, like literally two of the clips, because I'm doing that drinking show with Sam, right? So it's a drinking show, and the last two people he's interviewed are me, and we talked about drugs, and Pete, who like talked about like being gay. And
Yeah.
so the podcast clips are about being gay or drugs, or we're all just drunk the whole time. And still, no matter what, I haven't followed any chicks. I haven't done anything. No matter what, I go on there and it's just tits still. And I'm like,
Yeah.
how is this like possible? What is the algorithm like really trying
I've
to
done
like,
that thing
push?
where you can click and it says like not interested.
I click that.
It doesn't work.
It does not
It
work.
comes back.
It's
Yeah.
like the incognito mode of Instagram where you're like, this is not really what it says.
100%.
It is. I don't know why it's here. Yeah, it's freaky too, because like that thing doesn't know how old I am. All it knows that it's a new user. But if you had to take a gamble on how old a new user is, it's probably young. That's why he's a new user.
Right.
It's not people like, all right, sure, TikTok has the youth, but a lot of
For
young
sure.
people jump on it. So it's like, is this how the new users get treated? Is just like sex in their face?
Dude,
It's not good.
no. I mean, I feel like YouTube tries to mitigate that more than the other
100%.
platforms. It makes
Yeah.
like if you upload a video, it's not even available publicly.
Right.
Unless you put no, it's not for kids.
Right.
I mean, it
100%.
kind of is, but it makes it just essentially shadow banned. Like no one's going to find that.
YouTube's very tough. Well, YouTube's very strict in the other direction. So like, it's like if you like, I remember probably for 2 months before and then 2 months after the election, it would just strike stuff on my channel for being election advertising.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it had nothing. Dude, it had nothing to do. I don't talk about fucking politics on YouTube. I do some
Yeah.
crazy, stupid sketches, and then like we're drinking. Like those are the two things that are going to be on there. Neither of them are like anything to do with Trump or Kamala.
I don't know
or
if
anything.
it's just like the early stages of like whatever programs they use to just because clearly no one's listening to everything. They
Right.
have some kind of AI that scans
Yes.
for keywords and terms.
Yes.
So sometimes I've seen people who say something like, there's no context, just the word alone connects it to whatever is deemed,
Yeah.
not allowed on their platform.
Yeah.
Like I got demonetized for 2 days a couple months ago
Oh yeah, I
because
remember that.
that said I was talking about the Ukraine war, and I swear I said nothing about that.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe it's because I'm gaming,
Yeah.
and we're using machine guns in this game,
Yeah.
and it could be somehow connected to the war. But I don't remember saying the word Ukraine.
Yeah,
Like,
you're wearing like a blue and yellow shirt, and they're like,
Yeah.
this guy loves Zelensky.
and they reversed it and
Yeah.
re-implemented it. But no, I was also getting hard strikes for videos from like in 2023. I got a 90-day upload ban for something from 2021.
Wow.
It was like episode like 108 of this podcast. I'm in episode like 2 something. And I was like, why am I getting a hard strike from that?
Yeah, and that's where it's like weird, where like, okay, YouTube is arguably one of the most, not arguably, arguably the most powerful and influential entertainment companies in the world.
For sure.
I mean, people are on YouTube more than they like watch TV, without a doubt.
By a lot now, yeah.
Then it's like, okay, is it YouTube or TikTok? I think it's definitely YouTube over Instagram for sure. But then it's like, then you're really talking Google versus Facebook. So fuck it, they're all up there. It's amazing how an entity that powerful has a filtration system that is like, what are we doing?
Right.
Who do I talk to? Like we talked about this. This was fascinating. They double charged my card for something, got it shut down for fraud because it was fraud.
Yeah.
I got a new card. Before I got a chance to upload that new card, they went to give me my money back, realized that the card wasn't on. Then they're like, oh, this is a fraudulent account.
Oh my God.
And then they shut down my Google Ads account. And I'm like, you literally just self-fucked me out of the system.
Yeah.
Your system fucked up. Your accounting system fucked up. It shut down my credit card, and then I got fucked for fraud. And dude, I'm not even joking. I spent like a month straight trying to get anybody on the phone. I would explain, they go, oh, that's fucked up. Let's see what we can do about it.
Dude, they're straight up disrespectful with their customer service because you can do a chat option too. And you're trying to get help, and they're just giving you, like, it's not automated because it is a person, but they're telling you, like, the most minimal information, and they're like, all right, thank you, this chat will now be closed. So before I can say anything, like, no way, or even just curse them out because I'm so frustrated, they shut off the chat. So it's just like they slam the door in your face, and I'm like, that did not help at all.
It really is. Everything is, and I hate when people use this word, but really what is, everything right now is capitalism. So basically, if you're not one of their big money-making machines, they're not going to give a fuck. They're going to do whatever they can to make your life difficult.
Okay, you have 1,300 subscribers, and the video that you're talking about has 100 views. Like, we don't care.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck at all because there's a million channels like yours and mine where we're just trying to do our best, and people just don't give a fuck. And also, again, you not to take their side because they have frustrated me and they fucked me out of a bunch of shit, but you have no idea what they've been dealing with too.
I feel like it would just be easier for what their, like, whatever user agreement and whatever the rules are. It's easier to almost have a sweeping blanket thing that kind of just goes over everything, and they'll deal with the feedback for like who unjustly got banned. Think about all the people that justly get their shit taken down. It's probably easier that way, even though it's it's hard
fun
to deal with them, but
it's fun. I like YouTube, but I mean, I guess no system's perfect.
I think YouTube is the most rewarding as far as if you do get a significant bump.
Yeah.
Like, and it pays better than any of the other ones as far as I know. If you do start getting revenue and money,
it's the most difficult to crack. It's the most difficult to crack for sure.
Dude, TikTok used to be so much easier. I don't know what happened with TikTok, but like during COVID, like 2020, 2021, I consistently had videos that got in the hundreds of thousands, and I would get like 2,000 followers in like a weekend.
Yeah.
Now it's just like such a slow build.
Yeah.
79 views. Oh, the next thing got 5,000, then back down to 100. It's like I don't know what they're looking for.
And it's so frustrating because, like, as an artist, I feel like this is not what I should be spending my time doing, but it is like imperative to survival. Like you really can't just be. Like, the days of being a Stanhope are, like, done, where you can, like, grassroots your way to relevancy.
I know Dane Cook kind of started it on MySpace, but Stanhope did as well. They both around, like, 03 were just like, we're not going to have a manager. We're just going to post our shit on social media and book tours that way.
Right.
And they were, like, the standard, like, the first, like, successful comics to do that.
It's so cool. Fuck. Yeah, I hate when people are like, I was born in the wrong time period, because that's so stupid. It's like, you're fine. But I would have loved to just have the opportunity to like do that, because a lot of it for me is like, I don't know, some of my favorite people and some of my favorite stuff have taken so long for me to find. And I'm like, why is this, like, why do I have to dig for this? Like, this algorithm's supposed to know me instead of throwing tits in my face instead of like Connor O'Malley, you know, like, it's like, why, like, that's the part that's discouraging for me is like you're working so hard for an algorithm and you don't know if it's working for you. You don't know if it's showing your shit to the people that should love you, right? But the idea is that the algorithm will match. It's like the matchmaking. It's the
That's like you'd think in a perfect world, like AI would, best case scenario, just kind of give everyone that would be into your into what you produce, it could somehow attract all those people to your page so much easier. Like from based on your search history and what you viewed, this person is perfect for you, and it can just kind of give you your fan base almost.
Yeah. It's weird because a lot of the times where like I'll spend like hours on TikTok just going through like videos sometimes. Not hours. I'm pretty good about doom scrolling. I'll usually like try to go like read a book.
I do it at the worst time. I do it at night.
Yeah,
in bed.
You're supposed to not do it. But
I know.
Like, I'll do it for let's say realistically, I'll do it for like 30 minutes, right?
Like when else am I going to do it for a long period though? I'm not just going to like sit on a park bench or be in public or sit on my couch. It's like I'm going to sleep soon. And I'm kind of eating into like the amount of sleep that I need, but this feels like the best, most normal time to be scrolling and looking at videos.
I'll be on there for like 30 to 45 minutes. And most of the videos are stuff that I'm like, not again. Like, I'm like, oh, I don't hate this. But like the amount of times I just won't get videos that are like for me, it's like weird. I'm like, yeah, I guess I'll get this thing about like gut health, or like I'll see this car accident video and I'm like, I guess, you know, this, but like, where are the sketches? Where's the you know, like, where's the thing that I clearly like spend time watching? And I think it's this like abundance thing where the algorithm's like, we know you like this, but like, what about everything else? Like it's doing its best to see what else you like to keep you on even more, because the more things that you like, the more things it can shotgun in your face and keep you scrolling.
Yeah.
Whereas like, I'm like, I've made it clear that I like 2-3 things. I like NFL highlights and like sketches.
Right.
And then like maybe like a Louis clip and like that's it. And then it's like, well, how about like the top 5 red flags in men?
How about a Japanese girl eating a live squid?
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
On TikTok live, and you're like, fuck, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. Or like, how about a clip from another channel posted on a channel that's half the video and the other half is like marbles being scooped? Or like Play-Doh being like molested with your hand. And you're like, and the quality's bad, and like the captions are above the whole thing, and you're like, why did I get this?
You know the one that irks me the most, and I've kind of accepted that TikTok is king as far as content creators moving into stand-up or becoming crazy popular and successful. Like, it's fine. I'm not even mad about it. It's like it's business. They make money. They have fans. They're going to sell out rooms. But the most like do nothing effort I've ever seen in my life, and it gets popular, and people aren't even reviewing. It's a like a green screen of their face watching another video, and they don't say anything. It's even muted, so you can see them like belly laughing, but you can't hear them. It's like, okay, a person gets their pants pulled down and they chase the person, and they're just looking at it.
Yep.
And I was like, you literally did nothing.
Yes.
Outside of uploading it and making the camera like cut out the background, like, and now that's content.
Yeah.
You literally you're watching a video of someone watching a video, and now that's deemed content.
Yeah, I was thinking like the other day, like what's gonna be like next on content, and I feel like what's about to happen, because this would be so easy to fake, and I feel like it's gonna be coming. Like, have you seen those streamers, those popular streamers and YouTubers as well, that are reacting to stuff?
Yes.
You know, like with the headphones on, they're either reacting to a song or now like comedy clips.
Oh my, dude, I talked about this on the last episode. It's usually music is the biggest one.
Right. I can see them creating versions of that where people fake what's actually being watched. So you put your own clip in someone
100%.
else's reaction, and they're freaking out. Meanwhile, the original clip is like Playboy Cardi.
Yes.
You know, because like that's like, so what's, you know, people want to see reactions. People want to be hyped about something. That's the point of marketing, is to hype it up. And get people to go, oh yeah, what's that? I can totally see fake reaction. Like basically it's the, you know, the sign guy, the old meme, they would hold open a sign, or like argue. What's the argue one with like
with Steven Crowder, prove me wrong or whatever.
Yeah,
change my mind.
Yes, change my mind. That's a format. I think they'll just be taking specific clips of reactors reviewing, and then it's just almost like a green screen.
100%.
You just can drop whatever clip you want, and then you post that, and then next thing you know, it's this really cool, probably black teenager because they have the best reactions and they're part of the culture the most.
Yes.
Freaking out about what used to be like the new fucking, I don't know, just random game or something, because games are big now. There's going to be a new Nintendo dropping, so instead of like the new Donkey Kong thing, it's going to be Matt Rife.
Yeah.
That's like something I see coming like pretty clearly.
For sure.
Like that's okay. They're gonna start faking those reactions.
Dude, the reaction videos though, just straight up without anything else added, is like the amount of views that they get. If you see this like a black woman listening to like Led Zeppelin or something for the first time, and you see how many views they have, and I'm like, that has 289,000 views, and then you look at their YouTube and they have 90,000 subscribers and they haven't posted in 3 years. So I'm just like, how do you get a channel of that magnitude? And as someone who's desperately trying to grow their YouTube audience and is working at it, and it's like you just wasted that.
Yeah, the racial crossover is very, very popular. For example, like I'll see like there's two things happening. It's like there's this old guy that I really like. He's not old. I feel bad. He's like in his 40s. He's fine. He's like 40. Maybe like 52. His name is Shep.
Or as the kids would call him, Unk.
Unk. Literally Unk. Yeah. Everybody
I got called Unk on TikTok. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm almost Unk, so it doesn't matter.
It depends on how old they are. If you're Unk to like a 16-year-old, you know, but then once they get into their 20s, I guess once you approach your 40s, you're absolutely Unk.
You're Unk to someone half your age.
There you go. That's the way to measure it.
There's this white dude. His name is Shep Gold. I really like this guy. He's a goofy older dude, long hair. It's him listening to like Playboy Cardi or black people listening to like Iron Maiden.
Yes.
Like old black people discovering metal, which I never trust. I'm like, there's no. It's not like you've been in a fucking. You know, you have the internet. You've listened to Metallica before, or like an old white dude listening to like Lil Uzi Vert.
Right,
like, those are so popular right now, where people go, "Oh, I wonder if this is gonna break their brain," and it's someone going, and then it's just ultimately the video going, "Oh, I really fuck with this," and then that's the end of the video, and it happens over and over again, but. Something about getting to watch the crossover like gets people super excited.
Or you listen to like black people listen to like really good white singers like Chris Stapleton or something, and like the women are just like blown away by it.
All right,
okay, I see you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or white dudes being like, yeah, I've never listened to like Big L, and then they'll like put on Big L.
Oh my god,
like, oh, whoa, rap sounded like this in the 80s. It's like, damn, dude, we are like, I feel like people that are older than us didn't have the internet, and the people that were younger than us like are so online that like the crossover is like they're like looking into a new culture, even though they're all from like Houston. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
They're all in the same countries and states, but it's just the internet divide is way bigger than like the geographic divide.
100%. What I noticed too, which maybe it makes sense, but it's weird to think about, is when I was younger, like in the 90s, I felt like kids in the 90s and the early 2000s knew more about music from like the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Like it was like oldies, the oldie station, the Beatles. If you look at some of the comment sections now, someone will like, there'll be a video from like 2001. People in 2025, if they're young, they've never even heard of it. It's like, I feel like that you have the whole abundance of the history, but you can be so sucked into a category or what you're looking for that you don't even know about music from 25 years ago. When in the 90s, we knew about music from 25 years ago.
Yeah, and it's weird too because a lot of it is like, there's less like, you'll see it in like the festival lineups. Like a lot of this, I was looking at like Bonnaroo or something, like Lollapalooza, and I couldn't help but notice like it was mostly just like newer acts, like all the top. Like the oldest act was like Lil Wayne or something.
Oh my god!
Like, using it as like an example. It's like back in the day, it used to be like a combination of like Pantera and like John Lennon.
Oh yeah,
or not John Lennon, Paul McCartney.
Right.
And then the newer bands, and now it's just like this is just all the new stuff because it's like that's
It'd be crazy if it was John Lennon.
the fucking the way that they did the Tupac hologram.
Yeah, the hologram.
John Lennon hologram with Yoko Ono.
Oh my God.
That would be something that no one would go to, but it would totally be. That's the thing is like people love to not go to things in person, and then they post about it on TikTok, and it'll get a bazillion views.
Right.
No
right.
one would go watch the John Lennon hologram with Yoko Ono, but then it would be posted on TikTok, and some white dude's big face pops up and goes, "Let's talk about what just happened last night in Oakland, California." And
Oh
it's
my,
just
that's
like,
that's
yeah.
the voice too.
Yeah,
they
it's
always
that,
use.
or like it's the influencer chicks, and apparently this is like huge in New York, but I see it in Austin too, and like LA, where it's like, "Come with me as we discover Austin's newest underground coffee shop that is also a pottery barn."
And it's just a Starbucks. It's like, what is this?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
Like you went to a Dutch Bros coffee. Like,
dude,
stop. It's
I
not
got
that
swindled by one of those spots. I took a girl to a spot called Jupiter Supper Club, and it was like every influencer was checking out to a point where like I have like a pretty good radar in my head. Even when I made the reservation, I was like, I feel like this might a little bit suck ass, because at first it's a vegan restaurant, which fine, I'll try vegan food. I don't have anything.
Yeah, yeah.
The hummus was $30.
Dude, there's an epidemic of just overpriced food. I know it's everywhere,
Yes.
but Austin feels like
Really bad.
Egregious.
Yes, because it's not just that the price point of this stuff is high. The experience in which you're eating this stuff, it's like you're at a picnic table.
Yeah, it's
Like on a
it's
clay
a food
thing.
truck on the side of a Chevron station. You're
Right.
charging me $13 for a falafel or whatever.
Yes.
It's like, how is that almost $15? Like,
Yes, and it's weird too, because a lot of it is like so predictable. I'm like, this is probably gonna, and I just still go.
yeah.
If I'm skeptical and I still go, clearly there's no reason to change the
There's
model.
enough people too, because no one's from here either. So it's
Yeah.
just like they're like, oh, I want to try this. It's not like
the
there's
charm.
I don't think any of those places have regulars. I think they bank on people visiting Austin, and they need a quick bite before they go somewhere.
Right.
So and whatever, if they have the money to travel, they can probably spend $18 on a fucking gyro or whatever.
The the places that have regulars don't really need to advertise because they have regulars. The places
Right.
that have like the influencers get stuck in a marketing loop where the influencer takes a bite, goes, "This is so good," and then never comes back because there's
Yeah.
always the next restaurant to chase after and find. Whereas like I like walking into places and they kind of look at me because I'm like in the 10% that like never eats there, and just like walked in. Most of it is like 85 to 90% of people that just eat there all the time. It's just a
Yeah.
it's the goal for restaurants, just have people that love your shit and just walk in.
Right.
You don't need the 22-year-old
No.
that just,
That's why I always feel bad when people they start an open mic, either like a
Yeah.
pub or a restaurant or a bar, and there's regulars that go there to unwind
yeah.
and get away from their difficult job and life and family, and then there's some asshole on stage,
Yeah.
hacking it up, or even whatever. It's just like, even if you're a good comic, some of those people don't want to hear that shit.
Well, the weird part is you sell them on like, "Hey, do you like comedy?" And then they go, "Yes." They
Of
go,
course.
How about an open mic? That's like,
Oh my
that's
God.
not. It's pretty much not.
It's
comedy.
the equivalent of just like, do you like watching like NBA basketball? It's like, oh,
Yeah.
you're gonna watch a bunch of fat dudes shoot free throws at the park.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Do you like baseball? Yeah, then let me shove a baseball bat in your ass in academy. It's like, this is not even close to what the fuck
You're gonna
signed
watch
up
people
for.
who aren't even good at baseball attempt to do it in a place where baseball should not be done.
Yeah,
it's like,
and
we're
then
gonna
they
do
have-
baseball in a food court. Like,
And then they have feedback, and people are like, they're restricting free speech. It's like, no, they're trying to keep their business open.
yeah,
Because we showed up at a mentally ill army of 20 to 40, depending on how many sign up for the mic.
and then the bar sometimes thinks they're gonna bank on like business. It's like, out of the 19 comics that signed up, maybe 4 are actually drinking.
When I was doing more open mics, I would be so aggressive with checking them all out, because in my head, it's like, you never know when they're going to disappear. Now I'm basically doing not exclusively shows, but I'm doing way more. And the mics that I do are in like clubs, so it's nice. But when I would do like pubs and shit,
Shout out to Tom's,
Tom, that's a fucking great mic.
bro.
That's a fucking. Apparently, that the NA meeting, the Narcotics Anonymous group, is there every week. That's why it's
Really?
dinging like that.
For the Tuesday?
Yes.
Wow.
The Tuesday crowd at Tom's is better than their Friday show.
Dude, the crowd was so good on, not to deviate too much, but Robert runs a mic and shows in New Braunfels, a place called Tom's Comedy Club.
Yeah.
And the crowd was so good on Tuesday. I don't even know if I had a good set, because it was like everyone was crushing.
Everybody was crushing.
Down the stretch.
Yes.
And like, not that they were bad. There were some good comics. And
Yeah.
it's like, you can get sucked into the energy. It's like, okay, if you suck, you're not going to be getting laughs like this.
Right.
But there was like no different. Like the last like 4 or 5 comics, everything we said crushed.
And this is how I know they were a good crowd, is they were like patient. So like if one comedian bombed, a lot of times in a mic, one comedian bombing is enough to tank the energy of the mic for the rest of the mic.
100%.
They would just be right back with the next one.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
You know, I realize it too, because I didn't have to do much work between comedians. A lot of times it's like, all right, heavy lifting time, blah, blah, blah. But I would just make a little comment, might tag up a joke.
That's my favorite thing about hosting open mics.
It just tag, roast something, get a pop,
Yep.
keep them going after.
Mhm.
And then the comedians would do the set. And here's the cool thing about the Tom's environment is no one goes anywhere, because like, what are you going to do? Walk to Burger King?
Right,
There's nowhere to go. Just keep chilling. The vibes are here. You did the mic.
Yeah.
You got quality stage time. Hang out. See what's up. It's fun. The funniest thing is the first time I hosted that mic, there was also trivia going on outside. And this girl's like very sweet, but I don't think she like understood the dynamic of the thing. She meant this genuinely, but it was funny. She like went up. She goes, so they like scheduled us at the same time. And she goes, but I'll like, we should like try to just stay out of each other's way. And I'm like, yeah, we should be.
Oh my God.
We should be all right. Hunter was there on Tuesday with me, and he won trivia, and because he was the only one playing. So he got.
Dude, I said that. Like, I went out there and I was like, "There's nobody playing trivia."
He got
right
a
now.
$50 gift card.
Wow.
He's like, I might just do that every time. I'm like,
She was trying to get us to play,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
just like, I got like an hour drive home right now. I had a
Yes.
good set. I'm
Yes.
ready to go. Like,
Yes, and it's cool too because the spot is like an actual club.
yeah, oh yeah.
So it's just a good vibe for people to just walk in, like act like they got to do a show. The problem is like I cap it at 20 because I want to go home on a certain
Oh
point.
yeah.
I can't do
I'm
all-
excited to get that video.
Right.
Like,
And a lot of it was like people would like show up like after the mic started, be like, "Are we capped?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro,
yeah.
it's capped. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry." It's a
I
great
should have
mic.
messaged you, but I didn't necessarily plan it at first, but then I was like, oh shit, it's Tom's tonight. I
Right.
told Robert I'm gonna come every
Yeah.
week. I can't just not show up
Yeah.
for 3 weeks after saying
Everyone
I'm coming every
should be
week.
coming to it, but the problem is it's getting
I
really
don't want it to
popular.
get spoiled. I mean, talking about it on
Right.
the podcast isn't gonna help, but
right.
like,
It's basically like a show. Sometimes like not all stage time is the same. Not all stage time is
Yeah.
equal. And that one's basically a show. That one's like you get a guest
100%.
spot. You know, Alex said he was giving people 5 minutes, which is crazy.
wow.
Yeah, we switch off hosting it, you know.
Yeah,
Then we
it's
get-
one of those things that I don't want comedians like to ruin it. Almost like there used to be these rooms in Phoenix and in Tucson where it would be a variety open mic,
Yeah.
and like the comics somehow wouldn't know about it, and there would be a crowd of people signing up to do music. They're like kind of a
Right.
real crowd, and
Right.
then there was a real crowd, and then I would be like the comic, and then maybe one other comic, and it'd be a brilliant fucking show.
yeah.
And I'd be like, I'm not telling anyone about it. They'd
Yeah,
give me
yeah.
like 15 minutes.
Yeah,
At some Italian restaurant in Tucson.
Yeah, people's perception of like music and how it like bleeds into comedy.
They
is so
eventually
funny.
banned comedy,
Yeah,
by
yeah,
the way.
always. They will eventually always ban comedy. And the funniest part too is like when you're on a mic with like other musicians, like someone will like go on stage and be like, "I started playing keyboard like 3 months ago, and I just wrote this song about my mom." And then
Mhm.
everyone like is just so into it, like moved to tears.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
If I went on stage 3 months into comedy and I was like, I wrote this joke about my mom, people might be crying for the opposite reason.
Right,
People would be like,
right.
this is so bad. But like a pretty bad musician will still like kind of crush, where it's like a pretty good comedian can still easily bomb.
Oh yeah, for
Like
sure.
a pretty bad musician can still like move people because it's
Well,
like
there's
it's-
there's nothing at stake if you're a bad musician, unless like the crowd is crazy and they just want to like vocally tell you suck. If you do a
Right.
song, even if you're, I mean, outside of like a standing ovation, there's not a big difference in reaction.
yeah.
People listen, they clap. I mean, it's almost the same as like announcing the next comedian, whether they ate shit or did great. People clap and they reset the room for the next comic. You know,
I can only imagine. I think most comedians hate being on mics and shows with musicians interspersed. I don't
Oh,
mind
yeah.
after. I don't
Yeah.
mind if it's like comedians up top and then musician after. But I can imagine as a musician, you have to love comedians being on there and like making you look good.
Oh,
It's like,
yeah.
oh, cool set, asshole. This next one's called Wonderwall, and you just are fine. You know. you
Oh
just
my God,
Play the
yeah.
guitar. Yeah, it's. I do like those. I do like those like super artsy crowds though because they haven't been worn down by what is comedy.
Right.
So they're like,
It's
oh,
kind of
this-
new and exciting for them.
This could be funny. And you're like, this is not going to be funny. Oh, buddy. This
Dude, there was like in Phoenix, I forget the name of the place, but it was like this weird like hipster bookstore that used to be a house, and they had like a it's a bookstore, but then you go to the back and it's like a residential backyard, like a family would have it, but then they had this elevated stage and they had like variety mic. Eventually, like they ended up banning comedy. But then they started putting a cap on comics where like there's only 2 spots for comedians. And it was just like I remember one time they just kept bumping us because like the musicians did not like the comedians. I also noticed they didn't like it when we do well either.
Yeah, it was really, really weird. I remember like there used to be this mic on Tuesdays at Mozart's.
I almost got that room one time. No, Opa.
Yeah. Opa was cool. That one was like rest in peace. It was fun. Yeah. While it lasted. But Mozart's it's that coffee shop that's on the lake, right? And there's like
yeah, I never did that.
75 to 80 people there.
Really?
Yeah.
That's insane.
It was just for mostly music, and then comedians slowly started showing up. And at first, it was like a random. You sign up and you get called, and so comedians would be interspersed between musicians, and boy, did it take a special set to not just eat your dick in front of those people and just go home. And then what they started doing is they started putting comedians at the very, very end. And sometimes if enough musicians signed up, they wouldn't even get to go up because it's like, all right, we're closing the coffee shop. And you're like, fuck, it goes up at the end, So they basically, they did like the artsy, polite, but super passive aggressive version of like just not getting comedians up. Yeah. So they like started doing like comedians at the end, and then they elongated the length of the set for everyone before. Yeah. So it's like this person that plays cello gets like 10 minutes, and you're like, what the fuck, dude? But you just know too, because like I remember one time when I signed up for that mic and I went like 4 times, and one of the last times I went, there was this like very hippie chick that was on stage. And she was crying singing about the plight of transgender children in the Middle East. And I'm like, and that's what I have to follow. And people are like, people are clapping during her song. Like it's one of those where it's like the whole song is like a standing ovation.
Like every line is getting like an impactful
so like
reaction.
What am I about to do? Like I'm not gonna go up there saying I'm from Lebanon. I'm not gonna go up there
walk up. Hi, I'm Malcolm from the Middle East.
Yeah. They're not gonna give a fuck. So you're just like, all right, I guess a little bit of crowd work, and then a little bit of stuff in the news, and then a little bit of and they just didn't like any of it. I remember the last time I went there, I was like, I feel like I'm just ruining the evening for these people. Like this is like a really nice coffee shop.
Yeah.
And the music is like,
some places are too nice for comedy, man.
Too nice, and also like the music is like pretty bad, but people like still like really view it in a certain way that has nothing to do with comedy. It's not congruent with comedy at all. So it's like we're doing different things. You're pouring your heart out, and I'm just being like, what about this? And you're like, just go home.
Oh my God. Yeah, dude, it's insane. Just the different places I've done comedy at over the years that it should not have happened.
Right.
Why are we doing this? Like
Those are the sets
you need
that make you good though.
For sure. Like a lot of the comics that I mean, it is what it is, and if you're getting money and you're getting booked at the places that matter, fine. But I like going to like shithole open mics sometimes. I feel like you need it once in a while. Not like I've scaled back a lot. And it's not like 3 times a week, just seek out these places. But I feel like you need it once in a while. Because if you bomb, it's kind of good to bomb. It's like you needed that. Yeah. And if you crush, you're like, I'm a god.
Yes. There's yes. And both of them are just crazy. But like, there's like an epidemic of like producers in Austin that will just walk into a business and look around and be like, where can I put a microphone?
Oh, yeah.
And then if they're like, how about in that corner? It's like, cool, all right. Let me just sell them on an open
I don't mind like the open mics, but when people are like putting together showcases and doing like what's deemed a real comedy show.
That's basically in a grocery store.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, remember when we were you on the show? Where it was literally in like a Malaysian supermarket or some shit?
I've done one in a sandwich shop. That was actually really good.
I did that one, the World Marketplace.
Yeah, that one's good. That one was really, really good.
Great food too.
Great food. The funny part was like a week later, I grabbed lunch during work at that place, and the guy that was grabbing lunch with it goes, "Oh, there's a stage here. I wonder like what type of stuff they do." And in my head, I'm like, "You have no fucking."
Oh
idea."
my
He goes,
God.
"I wonder what type of music they do here," and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know.
Oh
It might not be music, but yeah. But there's been I feel like there's a show in Austin where someone runs it in like a gas station."
There was. I don't know if that's still there anymore. I
Yeah.
mean, that's kind of creative though. Like it's literally like at like a Chevron station type, like where it's a true gas station and they set it up like Don't Tell comedy style, and they do comedy there. I remember that a couple years ago they were doing.
I mean,
that.
there's like the thing is like the not so quiet secret is like clubs have the people they like. Some clubs have the people they like. A lot of clubs have the people they don't like.
Yeah.
And when you really look at Austin as a whole, there's not that many clubs.
I've said a bunch of times that the only like real business oriented calendar scheduled comedy club in Austin is Cap City.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a bunch of clubs, and Mothership is its own beast. It's like
Yeah.
it's almost like a tourist destination crossed with like, you know, a super club comedy store in Austin type deal. Yeah, that is a real club, but it's not the same as just like a Improv or a Funny Bone or a Helium, which
Yes.
Cap City's Helium.
Yes.
All the other clubs, great, but if you go to their calendar, they're not like you can see this headliner for 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday, 2 shows Sunday, like the way a comedy club is scheduled.
Yeah. And also I will say like the comedians that like nail their indie shows, it's like it ends up being a really cool thing.
Right.
Unique to Austin, but boy, can it be really, really bad sometimes. And I think the good part is like, because I produce a bunch of shit now, and sometimes when it goes sideways, I used to feel really bad, but I've been on the other side of it so many times.
Yeah.
Like last year, I was going through like the numbers of like, because I love to like just look at my sets and like just trying to make notes on them. And like over 65% of my sets last year, or maybe it was the year before, maybe it wasn't last year, but one of the last 2 years, was the first iteration of a show. So like the first time someone runs a show, they'll hit.
I remember you texting me that. Like
Yeah.
you were like you were on the first
version
show
of like 50 plus shows.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's cool. And it was cool too because it was a very special thing where it's like, oh, this is probably not going to exist in like 4 months.
Yeah.
And what's cool and what I appreciate about it is like the first show of a thing is so fake because you like pull out all the stops and you put your entire heart and soul not into marketing the show, marketing that show.
That show. You get the best possible lineup.
Yes.
You're excited about it. You go all out.
And then it's done and it goes great. And then you go to bed and you wake up and you're like, oh my God, I have to do it like right now. I have to do it again. Like it starts again. I have to make a new flyer. I have to DM everybody. I have to Venmo the people from yesterday. I have to start getting upvotes again. I have to start cranking. It's like, it's so relentless that ultimately, without fail, 80% of the time, the second show is a dud. And then the third time is a flux of like, do you bounce back or do you let the depression and disappointment of the second show linger like a production hangover? And then it's all downhill from there.
Oh my God.
It's never a continuous like upswing. It's not like you're bouncing back. If you bounce back with the third show, now you're used to just battling.
Yeah.
A guy that's done it really well, and I'll give him credit, Alex Duran runs the Kelly's Irish Pub on Mondays.
Okay.
Fucking great show. But I was there. I've done that show like plenty, a lot. And I'm one of his backups too because I live just down the road, so he'll just call me. I've done that show probably like 6-7 times. I was there when it was really bad at first, and now it's like great.
Nice.
But it took him a year and a half, maybe 2 years now to just really build it up every Monday, bark, get people there, get comedians that respect the spot, are like pumped up about it. And that's really like the best case scenario as far as like an indie show is run in Austin, in my opinion. There might be other ones, but for him to do it weekly for that long, it's like, and it's nice too because a lot of it is like, it gives people hope. That really what gives people hope initially is Kill Tony and the Mothership, right? People come here and see it on TV. But when you really like start walking around embedding yourself in the community, what actually gives you hope is the successful indie shows where it's like, oh, and anybody can do this. Alex is a great guy, but he's not like a he's not some like remarkable marketing savant or anything. He just worked hard and he built a good show. Like that's the stuff
Right.
you're like, oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
I can make something of myself here, because that is the
100%.
thing of Austin. You can still kind of make something of yourself here. But if you show up with a preconceived notion of what's going to make you, you're fucked.
Oh yeah.
If you're eating the fucking pill wrapped in peanut butter that people give you as a sweet treat, and you show up and you're like, I'm going to be famous. You're
Yo,
like,
I've
"You're
seen
fucked."
so many comics flame out in Austin. Like it
Same,
doesn't take
especially
long.
lately.
Good comics too.
Yeah.
You know, but they move here and they have this preconceived notion in their head that Mothership, Comedy Mecca, 7 clubs, endless stage time, and they get humbled immediately. And like, it's rough.
A lot of comedians in Austin. There's like a lot of comedians in Austin that move here because they feel like they're not getting their due in the city that they're from. And then they get here and they realize like Austin's like pretty competitive.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of like, don't get me wrong, we all see comedians that I'm like, fuck, dude, he's kind of getting a lot right now.
Right.
But I would never say he's bad. Like,
I
there's a
always-
lot of very good comedians.
Yeah.
So many it's been a
Yeah.
while since I've been on a lineup and I'm like, oh, I'm the best one. It's like, whoa, yeah, this
Right.
is going to be fun. This
Yeah.
is everybody, the pressure's on.
Yeah.
A lot of them are my friends, so I want to see them do well.
For sure.
But also it's like pressure's on me. Like, if you think you're like number 2 or 3 in your scene or whatever, and you're going to move to Austin, you're going to be a big dog. No, you're going to go from one of the big fish in a little pond to a guppy in the ocean.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
It's crazy, but I think it's good. I think it's the necessary wear and tear to just get people to like either get really strong here or get the fuck out.
Dude, yeah, and I've been here almost 3.5 years now, so I'm at the point of no return. Like,
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah,
So
but
it's just
I mean, do you miss it, or do you miss Arizona when you're here?
no, not really. And I go back like once or twice a year.
And
So-
there's a lot of good comedians from Arizona.
There are, dude. Yeah, dude, like when I started in Tucson, it's so weird. Like there was like 7 or 8 like could do comedy for a living comedians in Tucson
Right.
in like 2012. It made
Right.
like there were some shows. I mean, some of them have quit, some
Yeah.
of them have made it and they're doing comedy, but it was just looking back. Like me and my buddy Glendon talk about it sometimes. Like, dude, Tucson was unusually funny.
Yep.
For like 1 to 4 year in comedians in 2012 in a scene that has 60 comics. There's like 8 like legitimate comics, which the number that's crazy.
Yeah, and
Phoenix too has a lot.
what I've realized is like, unless you're like at the top of your game in like a Florida, which even that there's a ton
Dude,
of Florida comedians.
Austin comedy is 50% Philadelphia and Florida, and then
Yes.
just everywhere else.
Yes.
50% of the scenes from those 2 places.
Yes, and it's again, I still think Austin's one of the best places to be. I think the comedy crowds here are like weird, but they definitely get you in a good spot to be like doing well. And like when I go somewhere else, I'm like doing good.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's some nights where I'm just driving home in silence, like, what the fuck was that?
Dude,
a lot.
A lot. Oh yeah, but you can just I don't know. I always feel like when you go to like a new city or a new room that's not in Austin, you feel like that your superpowers have been regenerated.
Yeah, well, the way me and Alex put it is like we're lifting weights that we don't even see right now.
Yeah.
Like even when I like go to like a Rockies, like Piano Pub, and like which Brian McDuffie, another fucking amazing indie show. That
Yeah,
Rockies
that
man,
room is awesome.
amazing. Yeah, that room is like gangbusters.
Dude, that room is so weird because every time I've done it, it's been like, oh, there's nobody here. It's not going to happen. And then before you know it, there's 30 people in there.
30 people in
clapping.
as the show is starting.
Yeah.
Yes, and you're like
Last time I did it, like it was like raining and they were like, the show's like probably not going to happen. It's like, I've never had to cancel. And then it trickled. It started like 45 minutes late, but by the time I was on stage, there was 40 people in the crowd. I was like, this is amazing.
40 people in the crowd, and they're like ready for it.
Oh, yeah.
They're like pumped up. Yeah, that show rules. That's a really, really good one. I get all excited whenever I get
Yeah.
booked for that. Brian's been really.
Oh, he's the best.
Yeah, he's unbiased as fuck. He'll book fucking whoever.
Oh, yeah, that's what I always say. Like, you book funny unless someone's like a problem, like they're like a real like physically they're gonna cause like an altercation. If they're funny, like book them. Who gives a shit? People get in their feelings too much.
Yeah, it's fun. That room is fucking. That room is so great because there's this thing about like the way that it's like set up, it's like the lighting's perfect. The ceilings aren't low, but because you're on that stage, it's kind of
It's
low.
kind of low, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of low, and like the stage also has like a piano on it, so it's like this is just a different thing.
Yeah.
And people are just here for it. Like even just getting on stage, sometimes like you step over the speaker,
Yeah.
and then you're just like,
And there's a drum set behind you. Yeah, yeah.
It's great though. I love. Yeah.
I think we gotta wrap up though.
Okay.
This
Final
was the
words.
first time here at the Authentic Exposure Studios here in South Austin. It was a great experience. It's super fancy, super cool. I'm glad that you came out.
Yeah, dude, this was.
You want to plug anything? I know you got. Yeah, that's something on YouTube.
That's something. Yeah, that's something on YouTube. Yeah, that's something on Instagram. I'll have a podcast starting next week called It's Tabet. That's just also my Instagram handle. We'll see where that goes. But if you want to follow, you'll get in on ground zero. So
Start now.
Start now. Get
can
in
be
now. Buy my
a day
buy my
one.
Coin.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, dude, this was good. It's always fun, bro.
Dude, it's been a year since you've been on. I'll have you again.
Hell yeah, dude.
So until next time, kiddies, stay safe, stay healthy, don't be a bitch, and stay up.
Is that the sign off?
Dude, I said it off the top of my head the first time, and I've signed it off every episode.
That's great.
Every
That's
episode.
Great. I was like, oh, that was nice. And I was like,
Yeah.
I bet that's something he says every time.
Yep.